Hi, and welcome back to Real Estate School. Today is part 2 in our series, 100 questions you're more likely to see on your state's real estate licensing exam in one way or the other. Today we have 25 questions for you. Each question will be 4 points apiece, and the passing grade is 70%. Also wanted to remind you to visit realestatetutorbob.com. There you'll find information on our private one-on-one tutoring as well as our group sessions. If you're having a problem with real estate math or any real estate subject, this might be the answer for you. So let's get started with our questions. Question number 1. Jennifer is an agent with Action Realty. Jessica is an agent with the same company. Jennifer represents a buyer on Jessica's listing. Which is true? A. Jennifer is a dual agent. B. Action Realty is a dual agent. C. Jessica is the selling agent. Not the seller's agent, the selling agent. Or D, none of the above. And the answer would be B. Action Realty is a dual agent. What do we call this relationship? This is designated agency. Designated agency is a form of dual agency, but better. Dual agency, we think of one agent at one brokerage having both the buyer client and the seller client in the same transaction. Well, here we have two different agents. One is working with the buyer and one is working with the seller. However, they both work for the same broker. This broker is handling the sale for both the buyer and the seller. So in this case, the broker remains a dual agent. In a designated agency relationship, the broker remains a dual agent. Question number 2. An interest in real estate that does not include the right to possess it is considered A leasehold interest, B, a fee simple estate, C, an encumbrance, or D, a tenancy. The answer is C, an encumbrance. If the interest holder enjoys the right of possession, the party is considered to have an estate in land, or a familiarly an estate. If a private interest holder does not have the right to possess, that interest is an encumbrance. Question number 3. Which of these unities is required for there to be a tenancy in common? A, possession, B, interest, C, time, or D, title. The only answer here would be A, possession. Tenants in common share an equal right to possess. One of the most common uses of a tenancy in common is a condominium. With a condominium, you own your unit in fee simple, and you share ownership of the common areas, such as the swimming pool, with the other condo owners. You own a small percentage of the pool, but you get to swim in the whole thing, right? Not just your own share. You get to possess the whole. Number 4. Which of the following is not a test to identify a fixture? A, intent of the parties. B, method of attachment of the item. C, size of the item. Or D, adaptation of the item to the real estate. The answer here is C, the size of the item. The overall test to identify a fixture is intent, which is determined by a method of attachment, adaptation to the property, and agreement between the owner and the buyer. Question number 5. Assuming that the listing broker and the selling broker in a transaction split their commission equally, What was the sales price for the property if the commission rate was 6.5% and the listing broker received $12,593.50 as commission? A, $139,900. B, $387,492. C, $256,200. Or D, $193,746. Here's the way we're going to answer this question. We know the listing broker received $12,593.50, and that was sharing the commission equally with the selling broker. So in order to determine the full commission rate, we simply multiply $12,593.50 times 2 to determine that the seller paid a total commission of $25,187. Now, to truly understand this answer, you might want to go back and watch our video on the T-bar, because the T-bar tells us in this situation, how do we get our answer? By dividing or multiplying. Well, we're given the commission, and we are giving the rate of commission. In order to get the answer, we're going to divide. The commission divided by the rate equals the price. $25,187 divided by 0.065, which is another way of saying 6.5%, equals a sales price of $387,492. Number 6. In order for a deed to be valid, A, the signature of the grantee must be witnessed. B, the deed must be recorded down at the city or the county. C, the grantee, the buyer, must sign the deed. Or D, the grantor or the seller must be legally competent. Our answer is D, the grantor must be legally competent. Competency of the grantor is one of the requirements for a valid deed. The grantor must be of lawful age and of sound mind. Witnessing the grantee's signature is never needed, as the grantee does not sign the deed, and recording the deed is not required for validity of the deed. Question number 7. Christina and Melissa are joint tenants. Christina sells her interest to Jessica. What is the relationship of Jessica and Melissa? A, they are tenants in common. B, they are joint tenants. C, there is no relationship because Christina cannot sell to Jessica. Answer D, Melissa owns 2/3 interest and Jessica owns a 1/3 interest. The answer is A, they are now tenants in common. When joint tenants sell their interest in the jointly held property, the unities of time and title are destroyed. The new owner, Jessica, becomes a tenant in common with Melissa. Question number 8. The law that requires real estate contracts to be in writing to be enforceable is A, the laws of descent and distribution. B, the parole evidence rule. C, the statute of limitations. Or D, the statute of frauds. Our answer is D, the statute of frauds. The statute of frauds requires real estate contracts to be in writing to be enforceable in court. An oral contract, although unenforceable, can still be valid between the parties if they fulfill its terms. Number 9. Which of the following is a voluntary alienation of the property? A, adverse possession. B, condemnation. C, foreclosure. or D, owner sale? Our answer is D, an owner sale. Voluntary alienation is the legal term for the voluntary transfer of title, such as when the owner sells the property. Question number 10. Which of the following best defines the law of agency? Answer A, rules of law that apply to the responsibilities of a person who act as an agent for another. B, selling of another's property by a licensed brokerage company. C, principles that govern conduct in business. Or D, rules and regulations of the state's licensing agency. Our answer is A, rules of law that apply to the responsibilities of a person who acts as an agent for another. In the law of agency, an agent is a person authorized to act on behalf of another. Question number 11. A real estate professional shows properties listed for sale with her company to a prospective buyer. The buyer has refused representation. The buyer is the real estate professional's A, customer, B, client, C, principal, D, fiduciary. The answer is A, customer. The third party or non-represented consumer for whom some level of service is provided is a customer and entitled to fairness and honesty. Question number 12. A broker does not have to prove that she was the procuring cause in order to collect a commission if her seller sells the property without her help, because she has A, an open listing, B, an option listing, C, an exclusive right to sell listing, or D, an exclusive agency listing. The answer is C, an exclusive right to sell listing. In an exclusive right to sell listing, the listing broker receives the commission no matter who sells the listed property during the term of the listing. Brokers may have to prove that they were the procuring cause in some open listing and exclusive agency listing situations, but procuring cause is of no significance in an exclusive right to sell listing. Number 13. When a prospective buyer makes a written purchase offer that the seller accepts, then A, the buyer may take possession of the real estate. B, the buyer receives equitable title to the property. C, the seller grants the buyer possessory rights. Or D, the buyer receives legal title to the property. The answer is B, the buyer receives equitable title to the property. Equitable title occurs when the buyer and the seller have executed a sales contract and the buyer acquires an interest in the land. Equitable title is the buyer's right to obtain ownership. Legal title will not pass until the transaction is closed. Question number 14. A broker who represents a seller under an exclusive agency listing receives two offers for the property at the same time. One from one of the broker sales associates and one from the sales associate of a cooperating broker. What should the broker do? A, submit the offer from the broker's sales associate first. B, submit the offer from the cooperating broker's sales associate first. C, submit both offers at the same time. Or D, only submit the highest offer. The answer is submit both offers at the same time. An agent for the seller has the duty to disclose all offers unless directed by the seller to not present an offer after one has been accepted. Question number 15. Which of the following is a lien on real estate? A. An easement. B. Recorded mortgage. C. Encroachment. Or D. Restrictive covenant. The answer is B. Recorded mortgage. A recorded mortgage is a lien on real estate. Easements, encroachments, and restrictive covenants are all encumbrances, not liens. Question number 16. In what way does a deed of trust differ from a mortgage? A. Obligations of the borrower to repay the funds. B. Redemption rights allowed after foreclosure. C. Number of parties involved in the loan. Or D. Time period permitted to cure a default. The answer is C. Number of parties involved in the loan. A deed of trust is a three-party instrument that conveys naked title to a third party, the trustee, normally an attorney, who holds the title on behalf of the lender, also known as the beneficiary. The borrower is the trustor. A mortgage is a two-part instrument between the mortgagor and the mortgagee. Question number 17. Normally, the priority of general liens is determined by A. The order in which the cause of action arose. B. The size of the claim. C. The court. Or D. The order in which they were filed or recorded. Our answer is D. The order in which they were filed or recorded. The general rule for priority of liens is first come, first served, with the exception of taxes and assessments, which usually take priority over other liens. Question number 18. William is seeking a home loan. He earns $6,600 gross income monthly. If the lender applies the 43% qualifying ratio, how much monthly PITI payment can William qualify for? A. $2,838. B. $1,650. C. $2,300. Or D. $2,376. The answer is A. $2,838. $6,600 monthly income multiplied by 0.43 or 43% equals $2,838. Usually that would be the housing payment and all debts combined. Question number 19. At closing for a typical real estate transaction, prepaid homeowners association fees are A. A debit to the buyer and a credit to the seller. B. A credit to the buyer and a debit to the seller. C. A credit only to the seller. Or D. A debit to the seller only. The answer is A. It will be a debit to the buyer and a credit to the seller. Prepaid are items that a seller has paid in advance and which will benefit the buyer. So the prepaid amount not used should be credited back to the seller and debited the same amount to the buyer. Question number 20. The type of real estate ownership that is most all-inclusive is A. A life estate. B. A conditional fee estate. C. A fee simple estate. Or D. A revisionary interest. The answer is C. A fee simple estate. An estate in fee simple is the highest interest in real estate recognized by law. Fee simple ownership is absolute ownership. The holder is entitled to all rights to the property. Question number 21. A loan fee charged by a lender to increase the lender's yield on a loan is A yield, B, a discount point, C, the interest, or D, the principal. The answer is a discount point. Discount points are used to increase the lender's yield on its investment. The yield is the profit the lender makes on a loan, the spread between the cost of acquiring the funds lent to the borrower and the interest rate charged to the borrower. Interest is the sum paid or accrued in return for the use of the lender's money. The principal is the balance owed on the original loan amount. Think of discount points simply as prepaid interest. The lender will agree to charge you a lower interest rate over the life of the loan the more discount points you pay them up front. The investor will profit one way or the other. Question number 22. A primary feature of property held in joint tenancy is that A, there is always rights of survivorship. B, a maximum of 2 people can own the real estate. C, the fractional interest of the owners can be different. Or D, additional owners may be added later. Our answer is A, there is always rights of survivorship. Rights of survivorship is the distinctive feature of a joint tenancy. Any number of persons can own property in joint tenancy, providing they all have equal shares and identical interest, come into ownership at the same moment and on the same granting document, the same deed, and have equal rights of possession. Question number 23. A lease agreement is signed by a lessee who is 17 years of age. Which of the following is true? A 17-year-old person cannot sign a lease. B, the lease agreement is valid provided the security deposit is increased. C, the lease agreement is voidable. Or D, the lease agreement is void. Our answer is C, the lease agreement is voidable. A 17-year-old person can sign a contract, but because the lessee is a minor, the lease is voidable at the minor's option. Question number 24. How many acres are in the property described as follows? The northwest quarter of the southwest quarter of the northeast quarter of section 16. A, 5. B, 20. C, 10. Or D, 40. The answer is C, 10. Using the math method, we multiply the denominators in the fractions. 1/4 of a quarter of a quarter. The denominator, 4 times 4 times 4 equals 64. One section contains 640 acres. If we divide 640 acres by the 64, we determine that the size of the parcel is 10 acres. Our last question, number 25. The rights of ownership of real property include all of the following, except A, disposition, B, compatibility, C, exclusion, or D, control. The answer is B, compatibility. The bundle of rights includes possession, control, enjoyment, and exclusion, but not compatibility. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned for our third and final part in this series. And if you'd like to help this channel out, please give this video a like, leave a comment, and subscribe. Thank you. See you soon.